has adapted a revenue model to basically buffer the price action and act as a deflationary force against the sort of natural inflationary pressure that's created by seniorage protocols. So the first sort of revenue generating piece of the ecosystem we've created is Magic Farm. It is a deflationary auto compounder. Basically, the TLDR is that it operates on a fee split with the protocols that we onboard. So, for instance, if you're Grape and you have a LP auto compounding vault on Magic Farm, the protocol is getting a certain percentage of the performance fee automatically used to buy back and burn their native tokens. So Grape in the case of Magik.finance. So it operates on that sort of fee split and represents just a better value both from a protocol standpoint and an investor standpoint because they're getting charged the exact same fee they would be charged if they were going to Beefy or YieldWolf or another auto compounder service. So that's sort of the first thing. And our half of the performance fees from those are on the Phantom side, they're automatically injected into Magic tokens via buyback and burn. And then for our vaults on BSC and AVAX, which is actually where the bulk of our TVL is right now, we have to do those manually just because of the difficulty involved in automating those burns via multi-chain bridge, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of where we're currently at. We just partnered with Orbital Swap on BSC, and we are going to be their exclusive vault provider. And we also have yield farming options on BSC with Magik and BNB LPs. The next thing we have on the agenda is a sort of budget GameFi metaverse, is what I've been calling it. It's basically it is a GameFi hub you can, enter into. You can do all of the DeFi things you would do on the web. So like, for instance, you're in the town center, you can go into the Magik.finance, shop, and then go up to the teller. It'll basically, within the game, open the D app, open, the DEX that liquidity is housed on, and you can do all of the DeFi stuff that you would be doing, going to links, et cetera, actually in game. And that will be available to our partners as well. And we're developing basically a play to earn tournament style game. That's the first sort of major interactive thing we're developing on Magic World. But that's basically the 10,000 foot view of where we're at. We have, we're pegged to Phantom, which, anybody who has had a bag in Phantom has been bag holding for a while. So that has not been great. I joined the team around our all-time low. So we've pretty much only known lean times, but we've been here for a while. We continue to build and we're generating revenue and growing, and, I'm seeing all of the right things. So just really thrilled to be, a player which is well positioned to survive, whatever this market throws at us.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have grown quite a bit from when I first heard about Magik.finance. I believe the first time I heard about it, actually, it was probably Jack that mentioned it. Well, I think he's one of your mods now.
Yeah, that's right. He was in here just a moment ago.
Yeah, I've seen him send a message. Yeah, I really don't know where to start with how much progress you guys have made from when I checked it out before. Now, there's a lot on the roadmap, like you just said. You have NFTs and stuff. I've seen that in similar protocols like protocols with Miniverse, but with the auto compounding, I find I really enjoy that because it's, for me, if I'm pretty busy as it is, so I just know that I can throw my funds in there, and then it'll just continuously generate. Um, it'll build my bags up, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's just, an easy set it, forget it mechanic for anything that you're planning to hold for an extended period. It's going to give you, the best. It'll optimize the yield you're getting. It'll, be unsentimental about, short-term price action, and it'll just keep compounding your yield, which is, if you have conviction in an investment, is exactly what you want, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about the NFTs and how they play into the whole mechanics of it.
You bet. So we launched our first NFT collection. When was that? I think back in February. And the mint price was in our share token. Basically, this was after Russia had invaded Ukraine. I believe there have been so many like different sort of major, minor catastrophes that have occurred in recent weeks and months that I have trouble keeping them straight. But um, yeah, it was at a particularly bad point, and we basically wanted to rewind the clock on our emission cycle. So we priced our first NFT mint in our share token, and managed to bottle up around, I think it was around 35% of the supply via that NFT mint, which was great because we now have the option to extend emissions if needed to 2 years. Um, and those, up till very recently, those NFTs were stakeable on dark matter DeFi, and you can stake them to yield Magik, which is our peg token. Our contract with dark matter just ended, and we should be getting native NFT staking on the Magik.Finance the Magik.Finance D app. Native NFT staking should be up this week for those who have that first generation. And I believe we will be doing a second gen mint in the next month or so. We're just figuring out where to place it in the calendar because we have a bunch of things coming up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if anyone's listening to that, you're interested in the NFTs, then there's going to be some coming up. I believe I checked them out on um, I'm not on Phantom too much myself, but the marketplace for Phantom, I checked it out, and they were still relatively high at the time in price. Um, with Do you know the price of that you're going to be selling them at?
For the second collection,
Yeah.
no, we don't yet.
No, not yet.
Or,
Okay.
yeah, not yet.
The first one's minted what price?
They were priced in MSHARE, and they were 8 MSHARE each.
Okay.
So it's hard to give a USD value because share prices are always volatile. But you know, about a bunch
Okay.
of shares. It was a 350 piece collection. So you do the math.
Yeah. I'm not going to do the math. I'm not going to embarrass myself like that. Okay. So, is there anything else you wanted to elaborate on with the magic staking,
The NFT staking.
the NFT staking? And it says X Magic work on your
Yeah.
white paper
So
here.
Oh yeah, so X Magic was something that Jimmy had developed early on, and it was one of the things that had caught my eye because I came into the project as an investor initially. But basically, X Magic is an index of magic that accounts for interest that comes from boardroom prints. So like with each time you get your X Magic rewards, you're not getting more magic. You're getting X magic is accruing value. So for instance, after one X magic would be equal to, for instance, 1.02 magic. So it's an index of compounding, much like if you're familiar with like wrapped memo or that kind of structure. We haven't particularly incentivized X Magic in any particular way recently because we're trying to grow our liquidity right now, not take tokens out of circulation. So um, our priority is bootstrapping more liquidity. So maintaining algo stability is less of a chore. So Xmagic is not something that we need now, but we do have plans for it later on as a sort of governance mechanic.
Okay. Damn, I'm really gonna have to look more into this. I've heard about it from Jack, and he was right into grape, and I kind of kicked myself for not jumping into it when he first mentioned it. But there's a lot of mechanics to go through here with Magic, and a lot in the roadmap. So I'm definitely gonna have to buckle down.
We've done a lot of pivoting, like the sort of the wider market has demanded us to think about bigger problems on longer time frames, because you know expecting a sustained like huge pump right now in this moment in this market is not realistic unless you're the unicorn. So our goal is really just to remain stable for the time being, to keep growing, to keep building out our revenue streams and developing, so that when liquidity does come back to the market, we're in a really good position to take advantage of it.
For sure, and like this market's not easy on any project, from my knowledge anyway. Right now, um, is there any plans in the future to bring outside money, outside liquidity to the DeFi space or to the project specifically?
Yeah, 100%. It's just I don't know. So I'm a musician by trade, but there's this meme that I remember seeing. It's like Will Ferrell in the movie Elf, and he's like shouting, and it's like the top section of the meme is like the market going to hell and the world is burning, and Will Ferrell is screaming like, "Does anyone want to check out this NFT I just minted?" Like, it's kind of like,
Yeah,
yes, you can market now, but like I think there's an extent to which, when there's so much panic in the market, like those kind of efforts are subject to diminishing returns. Whereas like the resources that we might devote to marketing in this moment might be better spent on actually building out the business and fleshing that out, developing more partnerships with dexes, um, expanding Magic World, and getting more capitalization behind that. Those are the areas that I'm mostly focused on, because if we are in an extended bear period, revenue is going to be absolutely, absolutely crucial. Because any marketing plans, like they're fundamentally temporary without any sort of undergird. Both a combination of like tokenomic mechanics slash revenue that are injecting liquidity always back into the ecosystem and aren't reliant on new investment. And also, utilities for the tokens, so that people aren't just buying them to extract more value later, so that they actually have things that they want to do with these tokens. So they would buy them to use them, purely for their actual utility. And I know that's like the thing that everybody says they want to do. We have some ideas about how we're approaching that. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but if you have any specifics on that, I'd be happy to go into more detail.
I'll leave that one to the audience to ask. Oh, you hit. I just thought of a question, then I forgot about it. Sorry about that. One question that I've seen a couple times asked, if there was going to be any plans to um, offering a zapping feature like Beefy.
Zap to vaults, yes, that's coming very soon.
Okay, so yeah, I believe it was Skelly that asked that. So Skelly, I hope that answers that for you.
Yeah, we're so we recently pushed a UI update on Magic Farm, so it doesn't look like it was made with crayons anymore, which is great. But we'll be doing a bunch of quality of life, like UX updates in the coming days and weeks. Richer analytics dashboard, which will give you more information about like your the value of your LP, etc. and also more background information on the specific protocols and projects that are listed on Magic Farm themselves. So you can, use it as a platform to discover protocols as well as a place to just, like be directed if you want to auto compound your yield.
Some, yeah, I'm gonna have to. While the market's down like this, I'm gonna have to buy a lot of Phantom and buy a lot of Magic.
I mean,
Um,
it has been really interesting to me to see that Phantom seems to have really defended this 20-cent floor even when Bitcoin was nuking, under 18K. Um, I don't know if it's me subscribing to hopium at this point, but like, yeah, I was reading about, 3AC's exposure to different assets, et cetera. And, the whole like Phantom doesn't have VCs narrative has often sort of like worked against them. But maybe in this moment, it's actually a sort of blessing because there isn't really, there isn't all that leverage in the market to liquidate in the same way.
yeah, exactly. We Yeah, that was a really unfortunate thing that was going on. And there's probably quite a bit of people that have lost a lot of money because of that.
It's awful, but it's also kind of good because like you need that to happen to have any sort of recovery. Like that bad debt does need to kind of get flushed out at some point.
Yeah, and like I believe all these negative events that keep happening are also pushing us a little bit closer to like regulation. As much as I don't want regulation, I I kind of do to.
It has obvious advantages. Like
Yes, exactly, but it has very big disadvantages too, right? So it
we'll have
yeah.
to like they might I, all of the stuff I've seen recently has been pretty dovish. Like out of the federal authorities
Oh yeah, I
in the
agree
US.
100%. That's why I've kind of been leaning more towards like, okay, regulate it so that way we can still do what we enjoy doing. Because some people, like myself, you put me in front of stocks or the stock market or anything like that, or talk to me about anything like that. I have no idea. I'm completely lost. Talking about crypto, I'll talk your ear off for the next 2 hours.
100%, yeah. I mean, it's also just like, you go after your areas that get you excited and like crypto is just the DeFi in particular is the right combination of like nerdy, competitive money, gambling. Like there's so much in here to be like to dive into and to be into and enjoy. So like not to
Yeah,
mention all the crazy innovation in the space. That's what's like crazy to me about Phantom is because the protocols on Phantom like really are at the cutting edge. Like if you look at Beethoven, like Liquid Driver, the Reaper guys, like some of the best teams in DeFi are on Phantom, and that's still true, despite it bleeding out entirely.
I believe Phantom's got a lot of very, very, very skilled people on it. It's just they're so unknown right now, and even Phantom itself is well, maybe it's because came from Binance and went into AVAX, and then I only heard about Phantom through people on AVAX, but I've never really fully explored the news of it and who's involved. Um, Definitely one of the underrated L1s. Definitely one of the
Yeah, I mean,
underrated.
I obviously am biased on this. I am low-key kind of bullish on Phantom. I think Tomb abandoning the peg model is actually a really good thing. I think, Phantom has not gone totally apeshit with developer incentives. They've been pretty stingy, in fact. So there isn't just like they haven't like crazy devalued their tokens that way. And the Phantom Foundation has a 10-year runway. So like, yeah, like could Phantom go lower? Of course, like it can always go lower, but I think as a as an ecosystem, Phantom is like positioned better than many for an extended bear market if that's what we end up getting.
Yeah, and I don't want to go on my my interpretations of the market. I'm pretty bearish these days.
Yes.
Um, we'll get to some of the audience questions here. On a life-changing journeys, asked, what are the benefits of using Magic Compounder over the native protocol staking?
Well, so are you familiar with what auto compounders do? Because maybe I should start there. Basically, what auto compounders do, they're basically just strategy contracts. You're depositing your LP in there instead of on, if it's a tomb fork, you would go and deposit it in the farm. Like, let's say let's use like grape as an analogy. You have grape and mim. You LP them on Trader Joe. You go to the Grape.finance D app. You stake it on the farm, or you go to Magic Farm or Beefy or one of these yield optimizers and stake it in there. What they do, here's the critical difference. So when you stake your LP on Grape.finance, excuse me, you get wine, which then you'd have to harvest and either sell to deposit more LP or stake in the winery. The auto compounder is going to automatically do that process for you. So basically, whatever LP you've staked in there, be it grape, mim, wine, mim, grape, wine, it's going to take your rewarded token, which from the farms is wine. It's going to sell that, and then it is going to use that money to buy the two tokens making up the LPU deposited, and then automatically redeposit those tokens into the contract. So basically, it's just frequently taking your rewards and recompounding them into the amount you deposited. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Life on a life-changing journey. Were you able to understand that? You said thank you for the fit answer. Okay, so is there anyone else that
Wait.
wants to come up? Oh, sorry.
No, he was saying he had you muted somehow. No, I was
Oh
just
yeah,
saying that.
he probably just got tired of hearing my voice. So is there anyone else that wants to come up and ask a question?
Bring it
Uh, you-
on.
yeah, bring it on. He's ready for you.
I can share
No.
some little clips of Magic World if you want to take a look.
Oh, for sure.
Um, all right, so this gives you a sense. Wait, can I drop videos in this AMA channel?
You should be able to. Like,
Doesn't look
If
like it.
if not, 1 second, I will change it right. Oh, you're gonna have to do it in the chat.
General chat.
Yeah,
All right,
or
I'll
the AMA official,
AMA
the
official chat.
AMA
That's all
official
I
chat.
have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's not
AMA
letting me
Register
upload.
Explorer.
I'll I can post them. Uh, maybe I can do it in the Magic.finance channel.
Yeah, you should definitely be able to do it there. I don't know why it's not allowing people.
So there's.
Oh,
Oh,
got it. Okay, yeah. So I'll just take a look in the. That's grape.
Yep. So Grape will have a home on Magic World. As so will EMP and all our partners.
That looks
But
like those games I used to develop when I was in high school. That
yeah,
was on
yeah,
like the
we're
Unreal
going
Engine.
for a sort
Or
of old school like
yeah.
Game Boy vibe. But
Oh crap.
yeah, so you'll be able to enter the game. You can like talk to people, interact with other people, play games with other people in there, and you can also do all of the D-app stuff. So it's like all within the game, between our partners and us. Should be really fun.
Awesome. I don't want to look too much at that, or I'm gonna get addicted to it because that would be just way too much nostalgia there.
No, that's what
Uh,
no, that's what you need to do.
no, my wife won't leave me. No, thank you. Yeah, that's I used to code a lot of that stuff and use oh my god, what was it called? Player Worlds engine and Eclipse engine or something.
Well,
Um,
I'm actually not a dev myself. I'm on the sort of business development side of things. But our game dev Kyle he works in Unity primarily.
on Unity. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that one confused the crap out of me, but I was so used to using like Notepad and um yeah, uploading text files that way into oh yeah, just this was also like 15 years ago, so
Yeah,
okay,
things
so
have changed in the time, I've heard.
yeah, just a little bit. Crypto didn't even exist back then. Or maybe it did. I don't know. Okay, so do we have any questions from anyone in the audience? No, still nothing, eh? You guys are really quiet today. Alrighty,
Well, I'm
well,
chilling.
yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to really tell the people or the people that are gonna listen to uh the recording on YouTube? I know there's a couple people in general chat the other day that were asking about it.
Just that, we're scrappy. We've been here through a lot of lean times. We're not going anywhere. And we continue to see the kind of growth that we've been looking for and hitting our targets. So, I'm not suggesting anyone FOMO in. If you need to be risk off, that's great. Do what you got to do. But we're going to be around and we're, going to be yielding like 1% or greater compound interest on Phantom. So I don't know. I don't know. Can't really beat that.
Yeah, especially with the low price of Phantom right now, people jump in and they can buy it. Because what's the price of MSHARE currently? I think I have the price bought here too.
Just under $8 right now.
Yeah, just under $8. I think when I bought into it, it was around 20 or something.
Oh, you caught the
Oh
pump,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, I got the pump. I chased the green candle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always the thing.
so now I'm holding for a while, but at
You'll
least
be
it's all
fine.
it's
Are
building.
you do you have that stuff staked or are you farming it?
Uh, Staked, I believe. Actually, I would really have to
Might
pull that up.
consider farming it. The MSHARE farm is the fattest farm right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that now because yeah, like I said, I usually just like throw it in and just forget about it, and then when I go back and it makes me happy. So
I'd
it's
also like to point out that on orbital swap, if you bridge your magic over to BSC, it is currently yielding 537% APR in orb tokens. So that's pretty sweet. It's like
okay. Do you
what
want
1.6% interest, something like that.
wow. Okay, yeah. So
I
hmm,
can drop a link to that. That's a Magik BNB pair.
okay. Hmm. Now I'm gonna have to take a look at it.
So
Try
it's
not to do
just,
it while we're here, but
now you have the option of, do you want exposure to Phantom? Do you want more exposure to BNB? Um, Magic is going to be exposed to Phantom either way, just because, the fundamental design of the token itself, even on BSC, it's going to be, it'll be arbitrage to some extent because liquidity is shallower over there, but you'll be, exposed to BNB on the other side. So, that's I wouldn't call it a hedge, but it's a slightly different flavor of investment, and it's another place you can earn yield, which also helps by not overly diluting the yields on Phantom.
holy crap. Okay, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I got a lot to read into here. So I didn't even realize that you guys have made this much progress, and I think it's only been like a month or so.
Yeah, we're grinding. We're not loud about it. We just figure people will find us when they find us, and I'm not like we're trying to escape the Ponzi-nomic type aspects. Like we haven't done nodes, we haven't done those types of things. Like we see the value of those products. Like Grape is brilliant the way they've rolled those out and done it. Walrus, they've done an amazing job, and they're going with a sort of centralized approach to bootstrapping liquidity, which I think like obviously can work and is great. We are trying to see the extent to which we can do that from a decentralized standpoint via, like revenue that the protocol generates, which is automatically um, used to apply positive price pressure on our tokens. So, like, the more we can make those processes decentralized and automatic, in my opinion, the better, because that's what ultimately gets you away from just, requiring new investment to pay out older holders. That's like not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, because that's a major issue in DeFi right now is that everyone tries to gain the white lists, and if you don't get a white list, people just let the projects go, right?
Yeah,
And
people
then,
show for exit liquidity. Like we're
yeah,
trying to be like this is a project. It's our baby. Like we have done things to the extent that we can bear proof the protocol. Like I said, we accumulated a bunch of share tokens to extend emissions. Our emissions are currently tapered at about 60%, so we're not even emitting fully, just because we don't want to overly dilute our share token. We want like I said, the ability to extend emissions if the bear market continues. God forbid it. But yeah, I mean, I would like the market to be different than it is, but I feel, optimistic about the way we've positioned ourselves to weather it.
yeah, for sure. Like, you guys are grinding through it, you're building through it, which is the main thing because that's the best time to worry about making a product. So when the next bull run or making this a solid project, so when the next bull run comes, you're able to focus more on bringing people in and promoting yourselves and such, right? Like, there's no point in investing in tons of marketing right now because y- nobody's looking to invest.
Yeah, like people are like, for the most part, deploying stables to like, major like BTC and tokens of that variety, or they've just been wiped out. I think a lot of people got wiped out over the past couple months, sad to say.
Yeah,
But like DeFi is not dead. It's certainly not going anywhere. I mean, just the amount of action I've seen since we shipped farms on BSC through Orbital, like there's a lively ecosystem over on BSC. There's still liquidity there. There's still like, a lot of shit happening. Phantom doesn't have that right now, but I'm extremely confident that it will in the future. Like the chain is, in my opinion, by far just the most delightful to use. And like there are so many reasons why I'm sort of long term bullish on Phantom, but again, I'm not trying to fill you guys with hopium. But I feel very good about where we're at right now, and just excited to see where we can take it in the coming months.
I'm looking forward to seeing Phantom grow in popularity. Myself, I'm probably the furthest from like an ETH fan. I've been scammed too many times on Binance to be a really big fan of that, and I feel it's not really as decentralized as it claims to be. But anyways, that's just
Well,
my
it's
opinion.
not. I mean,
I know I don't.
Binance Smart Chain.
Let's
Like,
not let's not get into the politics of it there. But yeah, I find with Phantom they had a lot of fun with who was it, Andre or
yeah,
uh
Andre Cronje.
yeah, with him leaving. Now he's back
It's
or
kind
something.
of. I mean, it's hard to know what was what because that was right around the Ukraine invasion. It was also right around the time that Harry Yeh came out and said he was going to sue everybody for what intellectual property infringement for using tomb code. And then it was, solidly having all sorts of bugs and issues and crashing. And then it was OXD like totally shitting the bed. And then Andre like saying, fuck this, I'm out. Like, it was just a fucking perfect storm for Phantom. And then like Roosh getting like locking, I don't know, what was it, 50 million in Deus for 4 years with borrowed stable coins based off of, Phantom as collateral and getting fucking liquidated. Like the biggest whale on Phantom. Like there was all sorts of shit that happened and like capitulation to Phantom capitulation was fucking months ago. Like
Yeah.
we bled out early and real fast. So like it's actually been performing really well against Bitcoin and ETH and AVAX and a lot of the others in since Luna collapsed.
Yeah, that one actually really shocked me. I thought it was going to be USDT first, like Tether was going
Really?
to drop first. Yeah, no, honestly, just because they had so much FUD around them already.
Yeah,
Um,
but they've had so much FUD around them for like a decade. Like
yeah,
USDT has
exactly.
they've been trying to kill USDT forever.
Yeah,
It's still
so
here.
and it just it dropped not too long ago and then just came right back up. And so all the mechanics of that I'm not 100% sure on either. I'd have to look more into that.
It's just simple arbitrage because I mean, they only allow redemptions to like, I think its value is greater than 100K, but like if it depegs, you just buy it on the open market and redeem it and you pocket the premium, you pocket the difference. It was like when MIM temporarily depegged a couple days ago. That was like the easiest, like 7% I've ever made. Um, like MIM is over collateralized. Like they had 12 million in bad debt on their books. Like 12 million. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's not
Like
too much, no.
it's like a multi-billion dollar stable coin. Like it's not, people are just so panicky. And like I don't know, you just got to keep your head on straight with this stuff. Like algo stables are not over collateralized, stables are not collateral back stables. These are all different mechanisms of ensuring a peg. Um, Unfortunately, Tomb Forks belong to that group of stables, which must not be named algo stables now. Um, it's they're not UST. They're different models, but they both rely on incentives to maintain peg. But I think people have understood, at least with Tomb Forks, is that like they don't maintain one to one. Like they very rarely do. And the only time you would do that is if you have like shitloads and shitloads of liquidity. Like you would need, hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidity to get that kind of algo stability. So people understand, I think, that they're, speculative vehicles. You're betting on teams, and you're betting that they'll be able to develop a rich enough ecosystem to support the continued expansion of their tokens. And then, it's up to those teams to deliver on that theory or that goal. And that's, you make of that what you will.
Yeah, for sure. Hmm. Yeah, wow, you just given me quite a bit to think about. I know if the Notify guys were here, they'd be rooting for you with Phantom as well. Maybe they'll give us a listen. They'll hear this. They're on Phantom, and they're very, very pro Phantom and ETH.
I mean, it's a great chain to transact on. Um, And I don't know if you guys have been doing stuff on Phantom recently, but Pebble has been incredible. Um, that upgrade they did, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Like transaction fees have been down like I don't know, like 90%, and
Wow.
like even during like peak congestion doesn't seem to be a thing. Granted, there isn't the kind of on-chain volume that there was, but even so, I think um, it's been remarkable how well it's held up to pressure. Like, I think when all of those phantom liquidations were occurring, yeah, the network sucked to use. Like, it was expensive to get transactions through, but it wasn't bricked. Like, I could get transactions through. I was just paying a lot in gas to make it happen, and it was they were still going through. The same day, Solana was having liquidations, and it bricked their entire network, and it went down for over a day. Like, I don't know. I know
Hmm.
it's not comparing apples with apples, but still,
Yeah, true
I
enough.
I put my money behind a blockchain that like works, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I understand that 100%. I've turned myself to more investing in the project's team rather than just what my APR will be or my APY.
Yeah, because
Uh,
ultimately that APR will be worthless in a bear market if the team isn't delivering.
100%. So it's like
Yeah.
if there's the slightest chance of me getting rugged or the team getting hacked or whatever, then if you really want to believe those claims, then I don't even bother. I'm like, I'll hold my money for something else. Um, our partners over at Only Up Capital have been talking about um, Magic as well, on a life changing journey. Said one of the guys over there just told him about Orbital, so he's going to be doing that transition too.
Oh, awesome.
Um, is there anything else you'd like to let the audience know, and before we wrap it up here?
Just, if you guys have any questions in the future, feel free to reach out to myself, or Avery, who's actually in here right now. Hi, Avery. How you doing?
Does
Um,
have anything to add, or
uh, if he does, raise your hand if you want to jump up, Avery. If not, I think we're winding down. But just thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us and asking a couple questions. I know it's a crazy time in the market, but we're just gonna keep building and you know, finding opportunities to reward our investors and supporters.
awesome? Well, thank you very much for giving us some time to ask you some questions and explaining the project to the audience.
You
We'll
bet.
have a
Thanks for having me.
follow up. We'll have a follow up AMA when the market seems to want to, go on a bit of more of a bull run. Maybe give it a couple weeks or so,
Would love that.
and we'll have some more uh, members in the audience that will have some more detailed questions. And yes, that'd be great.
No shade.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I'll catch you next time.
Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.